right, guys, we are with Ian McCaw, Athletics Director at Liberty University. Ian, I guess this is going into, oh man, I'm going to get this wrong, fourth year at Liberty. It seems like a long time, but it seems like a blur all at the same time. How you doing?
Yeah, doing great, Chad. It's actually about 5.5. So
Whoa,
yeah, time flies.
awesome. So a lot has changed in the 5.5 years. One of the main things that I'm interested in is the conference realignment with Conference USA. I think we're less than a year away from competing in Conference USA. I know that there were TV negotiations going on as far as a partnership with TV contracts that was happening this spring and summer. Are we nearing any type of decision? Have we gotten close? What is happening there? Are you involved in any of that? And just where do these TV negotiations stand?
Yeah, so those are handled by the conference office, and they certainly keep the athletic directors and presidents engaged in that. But my understanding is the negotiations are progressing well, and we're going to have a very favorable outcome. I expect that Conference USA will end up with fewer television partners than they've had in previous years, but I think we're hopeful that we'll be able to increase both revenue and exposure through this set of negotiations, and hopefully they'll be completed by this fall and in place for next year.
So one of the mottos, mantras, slogans for the athletic department of the last few years has been "Rise with Us." I love that. I think it's a great mantra, and honestly, the athletics program has done that. They have, with the facilities and the level, the talent, and the championships, and everything has kind of risen to a new level we've never experienced before over the last few years. My question is more about the fan base with, um, you know, Flames Club membership, season ticket holders. Even like if you have the numbers of how many of us are watching all of our games on TV, traveling to away games, all of that. Have you seen the level of fanship or buy-in to the athletics department kind of mimic that "Rise with Us" slogan?
Yeah, Chad, it's a great question, and certainly the Liberty brand is an all-time high, and so on the field, we're really fortunate. We have this is the best coaching staff across the board we've ever had, the best rosters we've ever had, and so that certainly is where it starts. But then off the field, we have seen incredible growth in season ticket sales. We're over 8,000 football season ticket sales right now, and still with a couple weeks to go. And Flames Club membership is a record level. So we're really fortunate that there's been great growth in the fanship, and that's something that I expect will continue as we move into Conference USA. I know they certainly consider adding Liberty to be a coup for the conference, and hopefully we can validate that.
So we talked a little bit about them adding Liberty there. Conference realignment still, it kind of feels very volatile still. Every once in a while, a big story will pop up. Most recently, you have the two Pac-12 or the two LA schools moving over to the Big Ten, and then recently the Big Ten has announced their TV deal. Everything kind of still feels pretty volatile. What kind of negotiations is the Conference USA having right now about protecting its membership that it's established? And I think I've seen, a few ADs refer to it as the new nine or something like that. What is it about protecting that new nine? Is it kind of like you don't really control what happens, but at the same time you try to protect your interests the best you can? How's Conference USA approaching that particular topic?
Yeah, well, the first and most important steps, what we just talked about, is having a strong television agreement. And if members feel like they're getting great exposure and strong revenue streams, that makes it really desirable. And as you mentioned, I think we have 9 very solid members at this point, but I think we're in a really strong position right now, and solidifying the television agreement will be a huge step.
Yes, it will. We're excited to see that television agreement, and I think that'll add some type of security blanket, and it just feels super volatile, and I don't like it. I want to be safe and secure in a conference. So let's talk about the football stadium projects. Tons of projects going on over there. There have been for years now. I guess I'm going to use a project management term here. They don't have a lot of float in their schedules. That means if something doesn't happen, there's not any time to make up, so to speak. So, what is what is it with these football stadium projects in particular? I know you can't use it. You can't really do a lot of the projects until after graduation, and then you only have until the first home game to get it complete. Is the stadium projects that we have going on, are they going to be done by kickoff here in a few weeks on the 10th for our first home game? And then second part of that question, you've been involved in a lot of football stadium projects like this where there's that crunch time during the summer and seems to always be a rainy season. How much sleep have you lost and how many gray hairs have you gotten because of no float in football specific facility projects?
Yeah, well, that's certainly a hot topic around here right now. It just seems like these summer stadium projects just fill whatever schedule is available in such a way that they're always completed like a day or even hours before the first game. It just the way it works out. I've actually experienced both, and but we feel really good about where we are right now. Obviously, the field's complete. We had the scrimmage on it Saturday. The east side seating's complete. We feel really good about the berm and the cabanas. They're moving well. The west side seating is moving slower than I'd like. So if you see Mickey Gritty and I out there installing seats, it's probably not a good sign. But I have lost a little bit of sleep over the years, but I feel good about where we are with these projects.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've noticed is those seats over there. And John and I were actually talking about how many seats is it? How long do they take per seat to install? Is there a team that we could put together to go up there? So it sounds like you guys are all over it and you guys are going to jump on that one. Um, so another question. I know we had a potential for a sellout a couple years ago against Syracuse. They were a top 25 team. Syracuse didn't come down here in quite the numbers that maybe I expected, but I'm not really good at predicting those types of things. So I'll ask somebody who is good at predicting those types of things. Will we have our first ever sellout at Williams Stadium this year?
Yeah, again, it's going to be up to the fans and especially our students. But I think we'll have a great crowd for UAB to open the home schedule, and I think the potential is there for both BYU and Virginia Tech to be the biggest home crowds in Liberty history. So whether they're true sellouts or not, that may come down to the wire, maybe a close call. But again, we're over 8,000 season tickets right now. If we can get to maybe 9,000 and have real good student support and get some momentum behind us, I think certainly a true sellout's in play for this year.
That'll be one that I will want to be there for. It'll be a pretty historic moment in that stadium. So, talking about bowl games for Conference USA, I know right now we have the partnership with ESPN. I'm guessing that's still in effect for it was about 6 games. Maybe they've added some, but what type of bowl situation are we in with Conference USA? Do we have, you don't have to list specific bowls, but is it more tie-ins? Is it some of the same tie-ins? Is there a possibility of playing, are there other conferences, even Power 5 conferences that we could potentially be playing in bowl games because of our standing in the Conference USA? How has Conference USA impacted our bowl eligibility? Once we reach bowl eligibility, our standing with different bowls.
Yeah, Chad. So Conference USA currently has 7 bowl tie-ins, and that could change with the new configuration. But there are 3 bowls that'll be constants in our rotation, and that'll be the Bahamas Bowl, the Independence Bowl, and the New Orleans Bowl. So those 3 will be locked in. And then beyond that, those are, again, really recognized, attractive destination type of bowl games. And then beyond that, many of the Conference USA bowl games are the ones we have similar access to right now through our ESPN agreement. So some of the ones that we've either played in or we've been candidates for. So we feel really good about it. And obviously the important part is we do our part and make sure that we're bowl eligible.
Yeah, exactly. I hope my wife doesn't watch this podcast because she's going to want to go to the Bahamas every other year or so. And I'm not sure we could do that, but that's exciting. That's really cool to hear. So talking about the schedule, it seems to be what moves the needle with the fans all the time. That's what we hear and talk about, the schedule and upcoming schedule. So the question I have for you is, back in the day, whenever we first became an FBS member and we had to get our schedules to FBS eligibility, that was a pretty tall task. I remember you guys having to basically take any game that we could get that was FBS eligible, and we were trying to build these schedules. That was really tough. I remember you and Mickey talked a lot about how hard that was. And then a couple of years later, we go and we're like, all right, we're going to rip these things all the way down and join and make room for 8 conference games. Which one of those has been more difficult? I know we're not through with the with the rebuilding for a conference yet, so it's not, maybe we don't know exactly, but just from an outsider looking in on a macro level, which one of those was more difficult? Building a brand new schedule or ripping apart one that you have already built and making room for 8 games?
Well, both were very challenging, and without the excellent work of Mickey Gritty and Dave Brown from Gridiron, I don't even want to think about where we would be in either of those two processes. But creating that initial FBS schedule for independence was definitely more difficult, just because we had to basically take any game that we could find and manufacture some along the way. So it was really difficult, but. We're making good progress on the downsizing of our schedule right now to go from 12 to 4. It takes a while, but I feel really good about where we are.
So I know you told John a few weeks ago, and he wrote about it, about a model schedule. I don't know if you use those words or not, but we will be in a good place by 2027 is kind of where we want to get to. You've mentioned that we were going to try to play an FCS, 2 G5s, and a P5. That would be ideal. I'm not sure we're going to get that every year, but that would be an ideal model schedule, so to speak. My question is, on the G5 and the P5, is there something you're looking for with those, in terms of, do you want a competitive matchup? And what I mean by that, do you want like a Boise State or somebody that might not be regional, but they're competitive? Or are you looking for more regional? They might not be as competitive. So, I don't even know some of the schools, but like ODU, for example, that would be a great regional game. It could be competitive in some years, but they're not in the top 25 very often or up there. So what is more of the philosophy with both the G5 and the P5 games that we're going to try to get to? Is it more of a competitive feel or more of a regional, we want close by for our fans to be able to go, or we want competitive, or is it a little bit of both? One maybe for G5s we want them to be competitive, and P5s we want them to be regional? Or is it just, I'm digging way too deep into this and we just need to leave all that stuff to Mickey, and we're just going to play some good games here in the future?
Yeah, well, a couple things. First of all, we don't necessarily get to handpick which games we want to keep on the schedule and which ones come off, because other schools weigh in as well. And we had some schools contact us and say, "Hey, we know you have to get rid of some games. We'd like to come off the schedule," and that included some Power 5 opponents. So, we lost some games that we might have preferred to keep. But anyway, I think essentially the games kind of went into 3 buckets. We had some future games we had to cancel, some we kept, and some we just shifted dates. So those are kind of the 3 categories of what happened. But given how difficult this task is, I'm very happy with where we landed for 23 through 26. I think we did well with those schedules, but I'm thrilled with where we are 27 to 30. And we still have some work to do beyond 30, but getting to those 20 to 27 to 30 schedules, what you're going to see is regional Power 5, regional FCS, and in most cases, at least 1 or 2 regional Group of 5 games that would be attractive for our fans. So anytime we can kind of create those regional rivalry games, that's what we aspire to do. It's not always obtainable because games, it's not as though we get to, again, handpick our schedule, but I think we've got really good schedules, 27 to 30, and I think beyond 30, we're going to end up in a good spot as well.
Yeah, that is so we'll do the whole regional thing during the regular season and go to the Bahamas for the postseason. I like that model schedule myself.
You can say about, yeah.
Yeah. So not really a question, but just here's a comment for you. I've noticed recently in the last couple of years, you have the AD box. I guess it's for friends and family, and I'm assuming you spend a little time up there, but it seems to be in the top, I don't know, near the main gate over there near the bookstore. but you are always on the field presenting in the end zone over on near the football operations center. So my suggestion or comment is, with as much time as you've been spending on the field and on the jumbotron, you should probably get you a little room right there in that football operations center to get your steps down a little bit.
Yeah, that probably saved me wearing out as many shoes as I do during football season, but that's a good idea. But anytime you're doing a lot of those presentations, that usually means that you've got increased donor support or increased corporate sponsorship support, and those are both good things. And then the other thing we do a lot of is we celebrate championships, and we've won 18 of those over the last 2 years, so that's a good thing, along with winning the Virginia All-State Sports Championship each of the last 2 years for having the best winning percentage of any Division I program in the state. So we like to celebrate those kind of things, and I'm always glad to go down the field and be a part of that.
So with that, what can fans, I mean, I know we have increased donors and Flames Club and season tickets are on there. And those are the things that you've always told me. What are the things, I guess you could list them, the top 2 or 3, or give us anything else. What can fans do to continue to rise with these athletic programs? I mean, seeing the rosters this year, diving into the fall rosters, and we have a lot to be excited about this upcoming athletic season. And I guess, how can fans continue to rise with us, as the motto says?
Yeah, well, Chad, that's a fastball right down the middle, so I'll jump on it. A couple things, obviously. Anytime fans can buy season tickets and join the Flames Club, those are 2 things that are really foundational and help us be successful. But purchasing and wearing Liberty gear is great. Attending games, following the Flames through media, social media, watching our broadcasts. Our TV partners pay attention to that. Those are all ways that fans can support the Flames, and all of them make a difference. So we're looking forward to having, again, great products on the field and on the court this year, and we're really excited about the direction of our program.
Yep, I think it's I'm excited about, you said wearing Liberty gear. I'm excited about I love this time of year where I work at. On Fridays, everyone wears their college athletic team, or if they don't have a college athletic team, they wear their NFL team, and it's kind of a cool thing. And I get to wear my Liberty red. I'm wearing my Liberty hat here to work today. So yeah, it's awesome. Like you said, to wear and represent that brand. And I think our alumni are some of the smartest and best at their jobs people around the country, and they are great brand ambassadors. Let me say that right. So, Ian, much appreciate your time. Good luck this season. I hope you had a good summer, and we look forward to seeing you on the jumbotron several times during the game here on September 10th. And if we don't see you before then, good luck. And hey, if you do need somebody to come drill in a few seats on the I guess that's the west side, give John a call. I think I'm probably busy till September 10th, but if you need some help, give John a call.
Sounds good, Chad.